Marnie! Is it true? Are you pregnant? My mom just told me. Are you really pregnant? For sure? I thought you were too old to have a baby. Isn't that what the doctor said? Aren't you like 40? How did you get pregnant? Was it in vitro? Surrogacy? No way you have the actual baby in your own belly. Maybe it was a false positive. I mean, congratulations and all, but I mean, like, I'd been trying to have a baby for 2 years in my 20s, you know that, and even I couldn't get it to happen. How did you, a woman well in her late 30s, have a baby so soon after getting married? Did you even consider my feelings? You never once mentioned wanting kids, and suddenly you're pregnant? How can you do this to me? Whoa, Sally. What are you talking about? I've always wanted a baby. Just because you didn't bother getting to know me the first 5 years doesn't mean I never talked about planning a family with your brother. It wasn't easy for us either. We've been trying for a lot longer than you. Not that this is a competition. Weren't you, like, barren? Didn't you have something wrong with your womb or something that prevented you from getting pregnant? So I always thought it was your fault I never got pregnant. You came into this family with your barren bacteria, spreading it all over the place. Sally, please calm down. You're not making any sense. There is nothing wrong with my uterus. I think that's what you meant to say, not womb. Yes, it's true that as a woman gets older, especially past her 30s, it becomes more and more difficult and unlikely for her to get pregnant. But through some miracle, it did happen to me. You know what it's like to wish for a baby with all your heart. Why can't you be happy for me, woman to woman? You're being very rude and spiteful. This is the happiest I've ever been. There is no need to take your pent-up anger out on me, especially now that I'm carrying your brother's child. Oh, please. It's all your fault I got divorced for not being able to produce a son. Who cares if I was having an innocent affair a few times? If only I'd had a baby, I would never have lost my place in my marriage. My ex-husband would never have discarded me like trash. He would have had to stay with me, for the sake of his baby. Wait, you what? You had an affair. In the 2 years you were married, you had an affair. It was an innocent friendship with some man that I thought was friendly. We went out to eat and stuff a few times, that's all. My ex-husband is a total drama queen for blowing it up to something that he thought was enough cause for a clean divorce. But deep down, I know he exaggerated it so he could get rid of me and find a new wife who could start pumping out lots of babies right away. Who knew I wasn't allowed to have a single opposite-sex friend just because I was a married woman? Nobody told me. I thought I was married, not in prison. Anyway, I'm moving back in with you and my parents next week, so please have a room ready for me. You're moving back here? When did you decide this? You can't just drop this notice on us last minute. Do your parents know about this? Does your brother know? It would be great to have an extra income, it would surely be nice, but we're already using the third bedroom for storage. We will need more time to get it ready for you to move in. Wait a minute, an extra income? Are you talking about my income? What income? Do you expect me to pay rent to live with my parents or something? I am a newly divorced housewife, Marnie. How can you expect me to pay rent? I'm swimming in debt from having to pay alimony to that stupid, sterile ex of mine. How greedy are you? That's so inappropriate. Also, it's my parents' house. I don't know what weird, dysfunctional family you come from, but there's no way my parents will force me to pay rent to live in their house. Who are you to tell me what to do, first of all? You're nothing but a latest addition to this family. You rank the lowest of the low. Do I now? Duh! If you got that, make sure you act your place once I get back. I don't want to see no lazy ass sitting around doing nothing just because she's pregnant. You're basically a maid that doesn't get paid. Was this girl for real? I had barely seen her during the 5 years I was married to her brother, let alone gotten to know her since she never showed up to any Klein family gatherings. And now she expects to waltz back into her parents' house where her brother Harry and I are living for the time being as well. Her obvious taunts aside, I had a very bad feeling about this. But since she's part of the family I married into, and to finally get a chance to get to know her, I made a vow to try my part and not cause a stir. After all, Harry and I are only in this house due to his mother's insistence that we live with them for the first 5 years. Before Sally was married, she did live with us in her parents' house for a short while. It was right after she came back from a 3-year exchange student program in Asia. And it was not fun living with her. She was so jealous of me for stealing her brother's attention, she tried to manipulate Harry into thinking I did something bad to her on purpose. The usual childish teenager stuff, but I chalked it all up to as her being young and being new to having a stranger living with her. She would expect me to clean her room when I volunteered to vacuum. She ordered me to make snacks for her like I was a waitress. I even turned many a blind eye when she stole $20 bills from my wallet. I kept telling myself that she didn't mean any harm by her actions, but rather she doesn't know any better because she's been spoiled. I guess what I thought was my peacekeeping was in fact me enabling her. And now, after 2 short years of being married and gone, she announces she's coming back, and so soon. Marnie, bring a 2-liter bottle of Sprite and a big watermelon on your way back, will ya? This heat is making me crave them. I want to make watermelon Sprite. I walked here today to get some exercise. I don't think I can carry anything that heavy. Sorry. I'm due next month, so my doctor told me not to strain myself, especially in this heat. Oh, you're not dying or anything. You're just pregnant. Women have done worse while being pregnant for hundreds of thousands of years, like tending to their cattle and stuff. Don't be a first-world wuss and bring me back a Sprite and watermelon. It's not like I'm asking you to carry a car, geez. Don't you know you're supposed to move around and get more exercise if you want an easier delivery? Didn't you read up on any of this stuff? How are you going to be a mom if you're so uneducated and so unprepared? Don't you know a whole lot about childbirth and motherhood? Aren't you an expert? I'm being sarcastic. And no, I will not bring you a Sprite and watermelon. You can go get them yourself. You're much more fit than I am, as you so often like to remind me. Why don't you use your big body to some good use? What? Big body? Are you calling me fat? How dare you call me fat? You are calling me fat? You with your giant, veiny tadpole belly are calling me fat? What the actual hell? That's it. Why are you still even here? I thought you wanted to go have your baby near your parents' place. Why don't you just go there already, if you don't want to be helpful to this family? What? You don't even come out of your room because you have morning sickness, leaving the rest of us to make breakfast. Then during the day, you claim you have to take things easy and sit around doing nothing. And when my brother comes home from a long day of work, you have the gall to ask him to massage your elephant legs? Who do you think you are, a princess? Do you know how disgusted we are to have to see your big presents dragging around the house, eating everything in sight? So why don't you just pack up and leave? Stay with your parents until your precious baby comes. That's rich. Like you've done a single thing to help out around the house, Sally. You don't work, you don't pay rent, you don't do anything. I will not have you criticize me for how I handle my pregnancy. Yeah, right. My mom agrees with me, you know. She said the same thing about how all you do is eat. At least you used to clean the house and help make dinner and stuff before. Now you literally do nothing. If it's not the miscarriage scare you had towards the beginning of the pregnancy, it's the premature birth scare you claim to have now. Are those even a real thing? They sound like excuses to me, for you to be as lazy as you want. And what morning sickness lasts the entire pregnancy night and day? That can't be right. I have literally never seen someone fuss so damn much about having a baby. Oh yeah. Maybe you're onto something. Maybe I will pack up and leave. How are you enjoying being at your parents' house? Hi, Sally. It's been great. I get to eat my mom's homemade food every day. And my parents let me rest as much as I need. This is really paradise. I bet. There sure is nothing like being at home, is there? But you must be bored because you don't have a brother who's married. Huh? How do you mean? I mean, don't you wish you had a brother who has a wife living with you to do all your chores and stuff? One of the best things about living at home with my brother's wife was having her be my personal butler. But since you only have a sister, you can't do that. And I'm saying that must be boring for you. Wow. I don't know about being bored, but I can definitely tell you that I'm really, really loving it here without you. To be at home where the others don't expect me to do anything and let me be comfortable because they love me, it's really refreshing. Yeah, you should just stay there. I can have the rest of your stuff packed up and sent over if you'd like. Maybe you can stay there for good and never come back. What? Harry agrees with me. He says we should start packing. Just stay with your loving parents. Have them pay for you and your child. But how sad, huh? You did your best to act like a precious, fragile little pregnant lady so you could get my brother's full attention. And then, even before the baby comes, you're kicked out and discarded by my brother. You just had to get pregnant, didn't you? What are you talking about? What do you think is happening here? You need to grow up, Sally. You're not a young, rebellious teenager anymore. You're a grown woman, a divorced woman, who should definitely know better now. I get that you're sore I took your brother away from you. I can understand that. But enough is enough. Your juvenile attempts to bully me and make me feel useless is not going to do you any good. Why are you so determined to hate me? Because Harry's been different ever since he met you. Before you, he was such a good brother. He'd buy me things, take me shopping, take me to concerts, to the movies. But ever since he met you, he barely gives me a second glance. And I hear you take all his paychecks. You handle his finances. Why? You think it's fair that my brother has to get an allowance from you after working himself to the bone each month? My poor brother lives off $300 a month. Who are you to say how much he gets to have in the first place? It's his hard-earned money. It's not like you bring in as much into this family. You sit around and do nothing. Yet you claim his money like it's rightfully all yours. No wonder you were thrown out like trash. Thrown out? Me? By whom? My brother, you stupid idiot. Like I said, he's packing up your cheap belongings as we speak. We're gonna send every last little thing in this house that was yours and send them over via cash-on delivery. Take your shit and don't ever set foot in this house or anywhere near this family. You got that? Did you get the packages? How much was it? Must have been quite a lot, huh? Sally, I thought you never wanted anything to do with me. Well, until your divorce papers are finalized, we're technically still family. I figured I could spare a text or two to make sure you got what we sent you. I wanted to see how you're doing, because I'm not a heartless monster. Are you terrified yet? You'll soon be a divorced single mom with a newborn. Having to take care of a shrieking baby all on your own? I'd just kill myself if I were you. Yikes! Poor you. An even poorer baby. How's it gonna survive? You should have been nicer to me when you had the chance. Are you regretting your bad life choices yet? Maybe it hasn't hit your thick skull. Good riddance for my brother. Amen. Your brother? Do you need to talk to him? He's right here, burping the baby right now. What? What the heck are you talking about? Why would Harry be over there? He left a week ago on an extended business trip. I saw him get in a cab with his giant suitcase. He's probably in Spain or somewhere by now. You are mistaken, Sally. He didn't go on a business trip. He packed up his stuff and came to be with me. See, the entirety of his belongings could fit in a single suitcase because he'd spent so much money covering for your expenses that he had none for himself. That's a lie. And why would my brother ever go see you? He kicked you out. That's almost funny. Why on earth would Harry kick me out? I just had his baby. It's a girl, by the way. Harry has not left your side or mine. He's even taken a whole month off from work to be with us. You think Harry and I ever let your rants affect us? Did you really think your awful, hurtful words toward me went unnoticed by your brother this whole time? Honey, he knew, and his love for me and his baby never once faltered. Would you like me to tell you the name, by the way? That's a lie! Why would Harry pack your things and send them to you if he wasn't planning on leaving you? It makes no sense. You can't even spin a good story. It was his idea. He packed up my things and his things and moved out of your suffocating house, so that he and I could finally start our own life with our beautiful baby, just the three of us. Get that through your thick skull. Do you know how hard and stressful it was to live with your mom while trying to have a baby? Not just for me, but for Harry too. He couldn't handle it anymore. He had had enough, so he came up with a plan. He chose me. He chose a life with me, not you. It's really kind of gross that I even have to spell this out for you. You're his sister. Your weird obsession towards your biological brother is unhinged, to say the least. You do not get to talk to me like that! You're a Klein now. You can't just up and leave the family. We basically own you. Even if that were true, which in no universe it is, you told me to leave. I, a respectful woman, did what my husband's dear sister told me to do. And I promptly took the matter to your brother to discuss with him. You should have seen Harry's face when he heard what you said to me. Well, I didn't mean for Harry to go with you. In any case, I'll leave you to it. You can go on and live a happy little life with your family. You might need to start looking for a job now, though, if you want to make rent every month. What? Rent? What rent? It's what you pay the landlord whose house you live in. Grown-ups pay it. Harry and I have been covering the whole thing until last month. Did your mom not tell you? Of all the things she seems to share with you, it's strange she never mentioned anything about money. She must have been too proud to burden her precious daughter with such foolish things. What are you getting at? All I know is your mom invested your father's savings and retirement funds in some new startup, and let me just say it didn't quite have the outcome she was hoping for. We never complained about paying for them because Harry's a good son. But for me, what did I get? Did I ever get as much as a half-hearted thank you? No. I was bullied and tormented, treated like a servant, and hurled insults at. Even if in some universe it was justified, I wasn't going to talk to you out of suggesting I move away. Maybe I should be thanking you. Who would want to live like that? Shut your trap, you slut! You don't talk to a Klein like that. Bring your baby and my brother back to this house right now and apologize. The baby belongs with this family. It has our blood. What are you going to do, not let the baby get to know its living grandparents and aunt? She's a girl, Sally, and she has a name. I already asked you if you wanted to know what it is, but you moved right past it, didn't you? You made it clear yourself that you're not interested in this baby, but suddenly, now that she could be useful to you, you're all about her? Could it be the fact that Harry and I are no longer financially supporting you, I wonder? You need to come back right now. Stop this nonsense. Do you want to see me and my parents starve to death? Because if we do, it'll be all your fault. 3 able-bodied grown adults will not starve to death. Unless, of course, they're too lazy to do anything and prefer to die of hunger rather than work. Honestly, are you for real? Well, my daughter is crying. I should go tend to her now. Harry said it would be better for my mental health if I blocked all of you once and for all. If you ever need to talk to me for whatever reason, you'll have to go through Harry now. Good luck with that. I still received hundreds of calls from unknown numbers since I blocked the Kleins. Fortunately, my husband kept a close watch on the caller IDs and screened unwanted calls for me. For the first few weeks, Harry hadn't completely cut them off because they are still his family. But once his mom threatened to barge into his work and make a scene, he finally snapped. He blocked his mom and sister and changed his number just to be safe. I had never seen him so angry before. We heard from his dad a while later that he'd filed for divorce and that he's now working part-time as a night security guard at a parking garage to pay for his small studio apartment. He has a bad knee, but he says the job's perfect because he mostly stays seated. He seems happier and less stressed than ever. As for Harry's mom and sister, they had a huge falling out over placing blame, and now they've also gone their separate ways. I hear they're working a minimum of 3 jobs at a time just to make ends meet. I honestly couldn't care less. All I care and appreciate is my mom taking great care of my baby daughter so I can go back to work. I'm the new regional manager. I am loving my job, my husband, my daughter, and this peaceful life.
Do you have a moment, Marcella?
Yeah? What's the matter? You must be already on your way home on the train if you're texting me.
Yep, I was on the train earlier.
Must have been a hard day of work.
I thought I should tell you before I got home.
What is it?
I'm changing offices. The company told me that they were moving me to a different branch.
What? Where are they moving you?
To California.
Oh, California's where you grew up, right? Is your new office close to your parents' house?
The office is in a different town called S City. It's a bit far away, maybe 40 or 50 minutes by car.
I see. It's not exactly close, I guess. But that's a 2-hour plane ride from where we live right now. To be honest, this timing is terrible. I just got a job as a full-time employee at the supermarket as well, and the children are making good progress in their soccer club.
Oh, it's alright. I'll just move to California on my own.
What?
I requested the apartment the company is going to rent for me to be of 1L DK or 2 DK size. I'm just waiting for their reply right now. There's not enough space for a family of 4 to live in, you know?
Don't tell me that. Did you already reply to the company saying that you'd go?
Yep, I already formally replied that I will be going.
Hold on just a minute. This isn't something you can just decide on your own without talking to me or your children first.
But didn't you just say how it would be inconvenient for you and the kids to move to California? I guessed as much before you told me, which is why I accepted the relocation offer.
Even if that ended up being the outcome, don't you understand that there's a big difference whether the decision was made just by you or whether it was made after you had consulted the whole family?
It's fine. I'll probably be able to come home once a month, and I won't forget to call and text you guys.
I'm saying that it's not as simple as you're making this sound like.
Oh, I'm begging you, Marcella, stop being so selfish.
I'm being selfish?
Oh, it was an order given to me by the company. I can't just say no to them because of my own personal reasons, can I?
But didn't they ask you first whether you were willing to go or not? Don't you think it's a little messed up that you said yes without even consulting me or the kids first? I don't understand how complaining about your actions is just me being selfish.
Marcella, it's already been decided. There's no point in you trying to argue anymore. I'm going to be packaging my stuff on the weekend, so why don't you help me then, Marcella?
Tell the children about this yourself, alright?
Huh?
You're the one who decided to go and live on your own. You're also the one who didn't listen to what I had to say. Then at least explain to the children why you're moving away yourself.
Wait, isn't that your responsibility, Marcella?
Explain it to them yourself.
Huh? Fine. Hey, Marcella.
Angelo? It's the first time you contacted me in 3 weeks. I never expected that I would have to wait 3 weeks before you contacted us as soon as you left for work.
Oh, yeah. How are you and the kids?
It's the same with us here. The children are happy and are going to school.
I see. I'm glad to hear that. I'm really busy with work these days. I had to work overtime today as well.
Oh, is that so? But didn't you say that you would be visiting us once a month? Can I take that to mean that you'll be visiting us soon? After all, it's already been 3 weeks.
I don't think I can come and visit this month. Not that I don't want to.
Why can't you come?
I'm really busy with work. My boss even scolds me every day.
So you go to work on weekends as well?
What? No, I'm not that busy.
Then aren't you the one who decides how you spend your weekends and what to do on them? Don't tell me you're just too lazy to come, are you?
Of course not. I'm just having trouble adjusting to my new life, which means that the exhaustion accumulates. I kind of want to relax on weekends as well. I want to come home, but I worry that if I overwork my exhausted body by coming home on a weekend, it'll have adverse effects on me when I return to the office. Oh, and I even have to do all the household chores myself now that you're gone. Marcella?
I guess a change in lifestyle is sure to cause some amount of exhaustion.
Right? I'm so glad you understood.
Your mother is doing the household chores for you, right? Hold on. Let's get things in order. You brought your mother with you to California, right? Do you think I didn't know or something?
Wait, how did you know?
Did you forget that I used to work at the very same company you're working at? I quit my job once I got pregnant, but I'm still in contact with some of my former colleagues. The girlfriend of one of my former colleagues went on a business trip and stayed in the same town you are now for 2 weeks. That's when she saw your mother going in and out of your apartment multiple times. It was obvious by how she was acting that she was living with you.
Oh.
What's the meaning of this? Weren't you supposed to move to California on your own because you were relocated?
What, didn't I say this already? That I'll be bringing my mother to California with me?
Huh?
My mother got nervous that I'll be moving away to live on my own. She's been living on her own at my parents' house ever since she divorced my dad, which is why I thought this was a chance to alleviate some of her loneliness.
This is the first time you told me this.
What? I thought I already told you.
Did you bring her to just make her do all the housework for you? Wait, no. That's not the reason.
What?
Your mother doesn't think highly of me, right? Every time I meet her, she insults me. And even now, after we've been married for 13 years, she still tells me to give her back her son. Until now, we've been living a fair distance apart from her, which meant that we only met 1 or 2 times a year. I was able to ignore it if it was just 1 or 2 times a year, but suddenly, the company approached you with an offer to relocate you to California and work at an office less than an hour's drive away from your parents' home. There was no way your mother wouldn't immediately take advantage of this situation. When the offer of relocation was brought up to you, you told your mother about it before you told me, didn't you?
Well, actually,
Your mother's probably the one who recommended you to take the offer of relocation, right?
Well, it's no big deal, even if she did. My mother is so happy that she's going to be able to live closer to me than she did before. I think she'll calm down if you give her some more time. Right now, let's just wait and see how she behaves. Forgive her for now, alright?
Fine. Then you need to come home on weekends.
Huh?
You keeping your promise to come home at least once a month is my condition in allowing this free living situation to continue.
Fine, I accept. Hey Marcella, if I told you that I will be moving to my parents' house, would you get mad?
Huh?
I'm kidding! It's just a joke! Bye then!
Hey, Angelo, do you realize that it's been exactly 3 years since you moved to California without us?
Huh? Oh, it's already been that long?
You only kept your promise in coming to visit us every month for the first 3 months.
It's not my fault. Balancing my personal life and my work life is really difficult.
I'm impressed at how you just say such things with utter confidence. Don't you have plenty of time to make out with the woman you're cheating on me with? Did you think I didn't know? There was no sign of you coming to visit us, and there was this period when you kept telling me nonsense. Which is when I got suspicious and did some digging. You now live at your parents' house and you go to work from there, right? On top of that, you're even living with this other woman, right? And apparently this woman is someone your mother introduced you to as a candidate for your second wife.
Shit. You know that much already?
I have no intention of forgiving you for cheating on me, and I'm not going to forgive your mother, the cause of all this as well. We need to get divorced.
What, divorce?
Why are you surprised? The person you are now is someone who betrays his children, agrees with his mother's insane plans without a second thought, and makes out with his new girlfriend that he also happens to live with at his parents' house. I have no need for a husband like that. Please get away from me as soon as possible.
But...
I'm going to take custody of the children, and I'm going to ask you to pay for child support.
What, even the kids?
That's right. The kids are going to be living with me.
But I'm the father. You can't just make decisions on such important matters on your own.
Oh, is that so? Who's the one who suddenly decided to leave his family and move to California 3 years ago again? Not only did you not give our children an explanation that they would be satisfied with, but you barely even contacted or visited us during these past 3 years. Thanks to that, they've gotten quite used to living without a father. Both of them told me recently that they're going to forget Dad's face at this rate.
Hey, don't make them say such things!
I warned them not to say such ominous things. But isn't this a consequence of the situation you made by not coming to visit for so long that your kids are beginning to say such things?
Even if you tell me all that now.
I told you over and over again to come and visit us. It's you yourself who casually ignored all my requests and chose to live with your mother and this other woman instead. I'm not going to let you say that you didn't have me proposing a divorce for you in the future as a possibility in your mind.
But my mom...
It's true that your mother who pushed you to cheat on me is wrong as well. But you're just as guilty as her, for instead of stubbornly rejecting her request, blindly obeyed and started cheating on me.
Marcella! Why don't you bring the kids with you and come live with me at my parents' house?
What?
I'll break up with this other woman I cheated on you with.
You do realize that me and your mother are not exactly on good terms, right? To be honest, I think that one of the reasons she introduced this other woman to you in the first place was to hurt me. I don't want to live with someone like that.
We can just separate the house into 2 living spaces, so you won't have to see each other.
I admire your creativity, but I'm saying that I don't want to be anywhere near her, let alone live in the same house. I've already gotten to the stage of hiring a lawyer to take care of the divorce.
A lawyer?
I don't need to mention the alimony I'm going to be asking of you for cheating on me, right? And if I get custody of the children, I'm going to be asking you to pay child support for the both of them.
But have mercy on me. This could all be solved if we just agree to listen to what the other person says and be patient for just a bit, like adults.
You're getting on my nerves. Then should I tell you that I don't want to live with a degenerate that tells her child to cheat on his wife?
What'd you call my mother?
Both me and the children see you as having a mother complex precisely because you make such reactions.
Huh? A mother complex? Me?
It honestly scares me that you made all this mess without ever realizing it. Anyways, we're getting divorced. Please wait for my lawyer to contact you.
Hold on! I'm not finished talking to you. You can't just decide things on your own like this.
That being said and done, I made Angelo pay an alimony just like I said I would. Thankfully, I was able to gain custody of the children too, so I made him pay child support for the 2 of them as well. Also, I found out a bit more about Angelo's situation after everything had been done, but apparently the woman Angelo had been going out with didn't know he was married. She was told by Angelo's mother that Angelo was in no relationship and that he had no children. Her parents found out about the situation and were furious, deciding to make both Angelo and her mother pay an alimony. Owing to all of this, the total amount of money the 2 had to pay exceeded $100,000, and they were forced to get the money by both selling their house and by borrowing huge loans. By the way, it seemed that everyone at the office Angelo was working at found out about how he cheated on me. He couldn't stand all the rumors and quit, it seems. Now the two of them live in a warehouse owned by a relative and work part-time jobs day and night to pay off the massive debt they have.